Thank you very much, Mr. Virtuoso. We have a question here first by Mr. Ernie Bivens, then by Mr. Kevin Green, and Mr. Ren Fagan. Is there any, or will there be any other questions? Anyone else questions? Okay, then Mr. Stein. Very good. But we're going to have to ask the questions rather quickly, and we're going to need, 10-second questions, 10, 20-second answers if that's possible. We're running out of time.
Very quickly, do you guys think it was a great idea to reduce legislation from 19 to 15 in the legislature? Do you think it was a great idea?
I'll take that.
Okay.
I think the appeal of smaller government always looks good, but I think it devastated Niagara Falls. As I stated earlier, our strength politically is our population, and all
Okay.
they did was
Just yes, no, in a few words, because I want to save time for your closing remarks.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
I would say no, because we lost a representative from Niagara Falls.
Mr. Virtuoso?
Yes and no. Smaller government's good, but in this case, it worked against us. Like I said, it would. We would lose 2 legislators, and we lost 2 legislators.
Mr. Green?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I'm not in favor of it. No, I'm saying no.
That's a
No,
clear
absolutely not.
answer.
No.
That's very good. Mr. Cole?
No, I'm not in favor of it. I went to the county legislative meeting and spoke against it. I said the same thing.
Very good. Mr. Green? Mr. Kevin Green?
Right. See, I don't think it's fair for you to limit my time because one of your candidates is up there on the stage, and I know you want to limit me, okay? This is what I have to say.
I don't agree with that statement, but go
Well,
on.
let me finish, okay, because you and I will do this later. Mr. Thomas, you were on Tom Darrell's show this morning, and, all the candidates up there, most of the candidates up there seem to be well versed on many issues. But one candidate seems to be one-dimensional and only has
What would be your question? No, you can't. We're running out of time.
Well, I know you want to cut me off. You just want to hear this. He was asked this morning on Tom Darrell's radio show
Who was next?
about power towers. And Dwayne Thomas
It was
didn't
actually
know.
radio
Mr.
time.
Okay.
We could discuss this afterwards. We have to be out of the building
Now, I know
by
my
8:30,
son,
and
I want to
I'm
ask
the board
Mr.
director.
Virtuoso about power towers. Because
I
know
wish you'd be
Dwayne
more
Thomas doesn't
cooperative,
know.
Mr.
My
Green.
son knows, but I want to ask Mr. Virtuoso about power towers.
Radio
Because
towers was the
No, excuse me,
question.
I'm not asking you because I already know you don't know.
The question was radio towers, not power towers.
No, well, right here, I've got it right here.
Press play to say radio towers.
Okay, it was it was about radio towers.
All right,
Okay,
great.
you didn't
So-
have an answer. You said, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know. I know my son knows. I just want Dennis Virtuoso to answer that question. And you're supposed to be such a businessman. I want you to answer this question about this email.
We have a time. Nobody
When this is
knows.
over,
Nobody
if
knows more
anybody wants
about
to see
television
this
production than this man does. He's the one who taught
his
me.
business experiences, I
And
will
this isn't
tell him when
anything
this is
that he
over.
would have taught me. But thank
Right,
you.
I'm his mentor. Okay?
Do you have a question there, Kenny?
I don't
No,
know.
it's Kevin and it's Dennis Virtuoso about the radio towers,
Yeah.
which a one-dimensional candidate, Dwayne Thomas, knows absolutely nothing about.
But we've asked that everyone be respectful in their question asking. Go ahead, Mr. Virtuoso.
Okay, so what the question is, do you want to know about the
About radio towers, the question was they were worried about taxpayers, it was going to raise it 2%. And as you know, they want to do this for the police and fire department.
Chris Cadello was asking this morning about the 911 consolidation, the new radio towers that are going up.
It's not 911 consolidation. What it is the federal government's mandating that we narrow band it.
Right.
Now, in order to talk about narrow banding, I'd probably need about an hour. But this project, when it first came out, was a $24 million project. It's now down to 18 million, down to maybe even 15 million now, because I squawked before the legislature that they were not going out for bids on this project. They just singled out one vendor and asked for a price, and that's what they were ready to go with. And I started screaming and yelling that this is unfair, that we should have an RFP on this, a request for proposals, and put it out there and see what we can do. And now the price dropped, like I said, by almost $7 or $8 million just by that. Thank you.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes before we have to wrap this up. I got time for one more question. You guys want to arm wrestle for it or what? All right, I'm going to have you, the three of you ask your questions, and I have them answer the questions as consolidated questions.
Okay, this question is for Mr. Green and Mr. Cole. All right. It's reference to, you said something about unions, and Mr. Green talking about green for all. And what I'd like to know is, how would that affect the union jobs when you have more green jobs coming to the area? I'd like to know, how would that affect that?
This is Mr. Darren Sneed, this is Mr. Ren Fagan.
My question is with drugs, crime, and these gangs that are here, and a lot of these guns that are on the street. I know this isn't public safety. However, what type of programs will you be bringing, and what type of approach will you assist to this area, 4th District?
And I don't know this gentleman.
Bettina Bellantip, Mobile Lifestyle CEO. And just for the whole panel, how many had pursued higher education outside of high school? And what areas? And how many had opened up a business and closed it within 6 months? And that's for the whole panel. If you're not in business, then you don't have to answer the question. So it's pretty good.
We'll start with Mr. Green.
So we're going to work from the first question.
You pick
On the
up
way
the
to-
questions that
okay.
you want, but only
All right,
pick up the
well,
questions that you can answer in
first of
about
all-
15 seconds.
Okay, well, in terms of the union thing, I'm endorsed by the AFS-CME, Local 182, Niagara County Blue Collar Employees. It will boost, it will actually probably boost their enrollment. What was the second question that, Ren, what did you ask? Crime, well, like I said, if you address poverty by giving people livable wages, the crime rate drops. I mean, there's study after study after study that shows that.
What type of programs are you going to be bringing to the area?
What
Like
type
I
of
said-
programs
like I
are you
said-
bringing to the areas? What do you
Like
say?
I said earlier, well, there's a lot of programs that already exist that a lot of our constituents don't know about. My thing is, like when we were talking about what was going on out in Wheatfield, a lot of our constituents can't get out to Wheatfield. So what I would like to do is to bring those job development programs that are out in Wheatfield that you have to do down here.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Mr.
And
Cohen.
then, wait, the third question was,
We're just running out of
Oh,
time,
okay.
sir, and I want to
He
give,
doesn't want you to talk.
and I want you to have your closing remarks as
Why
we
does
sit
my
in the
question
stand.
have no significance? It's a yes, no.
Someone else will pick up your question.
But I want to know from all the panel members.
Then, do you want to pay overtime to the staff that learn this? Okay. I'm not authorized to give them overtime.
I think Chris
Mr. Cole.
ran out of time, but I'll touch on all three. Listen, the green jobs that everybody's touched on, I haven't touched on as much, but it's a very good thing, but I would want to propose that those be union jobs to make sure that people aren't working for $7, $8 an hour, and that there's a commensurate level of skill level of training involved. I think Rich already touched on the training, but I would have no problem supporting a resolution if that's possible on council.
10 seconds, Mr. Cohen.
To see that they're union jobs. Public safety that Chris touched on, reaching out to the youth and showing them that there's a better life out there. And I do think that programs like the Boys and Girls Club are a good thing. Business, I own a company called Healing Touch. It's been in business for 6 years now in the community.
Thank you, Mr. Briglio.
Yes, I have pursued higher education, and I agree with Mr. Green. There's lots of programs available for the youth that they don't even know about. Even my own building, they're always surprised they're going to be like an after-school program or something. So I think you start by reaching the youth by talking to them as like they're intelligent people. They really are, not just kids.
Thank you, Mr. Briglio. Mr. Gow.
I am also endorsed by the local 182 state county local union. Continuing education, I have a BBA in accounting from Niagara University. I have a JD from the University of Buffalo Law School. I am currently a CPA. I have just opened up my own CPA business in the city of Niagara Falls. I work with a lot of small businesses all the time, helping them open businesses.
Thank you, Mr. Gow. Mr. Thomas.
Well, since they want to hear the answer from me, I'll answer it for you. I am currently working on a bachelor's degree in legal studies at Post University. Ren, I do have a guide right program that I've been successful in since 1988. It's been in Buffalo that we'll be bringing here, as well as Citizens on Patrol. And yes, I have opened a number of businesses, and one of them did close within 6 months. If that's the question.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Virtuoso.
The first question, youth programming. I'm in favor of keeping the existing youth programs that we have now. With the federal and state cuts, it's getting very increasingly hard to keep some of the programs that we have. And I'm not in favor of cutting any programs that we have for our youth. I think we should expand it. But like I said, in these times, it's getting hard to, with the federal cuts and the state cuts.
Thank you, Mr.
Businesses,
Virtuoso. Mr. Virtuoso, if you can take about 30 seconds for a closing remark, and you can add anything in there that you want at that point, and we'll work back this way.
Okay, I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I'm sorry that I was late. I hope I gave you enough information tonight. And I wish everybody good luck here tonight. And hopefully we'll have 3 new legislators from Niagara Falls here that will join me up in Lockport.
Thank you very much, Mr. Virtuoso. Mr. Thomas.
I want to thank everyone for your time here. I am a pastor in the city of Niagara Falls. I've impacted many lives, foster parent, took in children that were not even my own children, and raised, despite the circus that is in here today to try to discredit me. I work off of results. So I've done it, I'm going to continue to do it, and I ask you to vote for me on September 13th because I am a man of character.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. We ask for you to be polite.
My name is Michael Gall.
I know you are. Mr. Gall.
My name is Michael Gall. I'm the Republican candidate for the 3rd Legislative District in LaSalle. I was a former city councilman. I think now with 15 legislators, experience is important, working with other people. I think LaSalle first, as far as my position as a legislator, we have to address the issues there. I think I have the best experience of anybody running for legislator in LaSalle. Definitely the best experience of any Republican. I think I deserve the vote September 13th.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gall. Mr. Briglio.
John Briglio, the Democratic endorsed candidate, as well as the Working Family Party endorsed candidate, also endorsed by the Niagara County Buildings and Trades Council. I believe I'm the best candidate because I have a history of leadership and integrity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cole.
Yeah, we've got Cole running for Niagara County Legislator, 3rd District, LaSalle, and the Democratic primary. I am a registered Democrat. I'm the only registered Democrat running in that race for that primary specifically, and I'm paying for the entire campaign myself. I won't owe anybody any favors afterwards except for the people, the residents of LaSalle. I'm very much asking for your vote and support.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. Mr.
Attorney
Green.
Demetrius for putting this on.
Yes, I'd like to thank the organizers of this particular event. I'm glad I was able to make it. My name is Christian Green. I'm running for 4th District County Legislature. I've worked in this community for 15 years. Also, what I can promise you is, one, I won't make any empty promises to you. But first and foremost, the first thing I would do as your next county legislature for the district, for the residents of this district, is to inform the constituents of the issues that concern them. The second thing I would do is I would listen and recommend a course of action. And the third thing I would do, I would advocate and assist you in that course of action. I appreciate your vote Tuesday, September 13th, 4A. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Green. I want to thank our moderator, Mr. David Taylor. I want to thank Niagara Falls Street News, Mr. Demetrius Nix. I'd like to thank the Niagara Falls Housing Authority for the facility here that they allowed us to use. If you could, give our legislators a great round. And I want to thank you all for coming out. You guys have a good night and be safe.
Keep going. No, don't cut it off. Keep the camera on. This is good. Bragging about he was against busing. Hey. Put out this slide. Could you please put out this slide? I was talking to you. You don't want to talk to me. I really put out this slide. Why? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm not. Hey, Russ. Robert needs the only thing keeping us aligned from all the
Mexico. It's
Who put out this lie?
something I feel very strongly against. And yes, I definitely support.
Yeah.